So I just wanted to make a quick video about what we used at Henry's Lake this past week. To me, it's just not very complicated right now. The fish are hungry. Seems like every day we're there. Fishing got better. Last day was a little different, but we went to a different spot, so it was tough to tell. But pretty much what I used there this year was 3 different colors. I've had a few questions on this. First one was black. Just a simple black jig, 16th ounce. Or a pink would work. And also very good was red. In fact, the jig head itself, red was the ticket. And on that jig, I seem to have the best luck with what I'm calling a Deer Liza. Just a simple little 4 segmented body with an ultra thin tail. Just give it some action. Once again, I don't think it's very complicated. I primarily fished in about 6 to 10 feet of water. Make sure you stay above the weeds. The weeds this year were probably 3 foot high in the water column off of the ground. So as long as you're out of the weeds, you're gonna catch plenty of fish. I caught a few fish right down in the weeds. The fish were cruising in the weeds. I could see them on the fish finder. So if you're using a fish finder, I'd recommend going about 10 feet deep. Set your fish finder up, set your 10 up. If you have dead sticks, jaw jackers, or just dead stick rods, I'd set them in towards the shore. Try to catch different depths, and you should do well. On a dead stick, I would probably recommend going a little bit smaller, maybe a 32nd ounce. That's just me. I sometimes think that the smaller the bait, the less finicky a fish will be. It doesn't intimidate them so much, especially on a dead stick when they have an opportunity to study it. And seems like a small jig, small presentation will catch you a lot more fish. I don't know if you've noticed the lures, the jigs that come with the jaw jackers, for instance, are very small. And there's a reason. Those guys have tested those things. There's a reason they send you some small jigs. They've done the homework for us. Smaller jigs work better on a dead stick, unless you're going to throw a big shrimp on or a big ball of worms. But at a place like Henry's, I don't know that you want to do that, because we're going to release most of the fish we catch anyways. Limit's 2 there, I believe. You can have 6 in possession, but 2 is the limit per day. And so you're going to release most of your fish. But the only reason I go with a little heavier jig is just so I can feel the tension on my line. I don't fish with anything more than 4-pound test at Henry's. A lot of guys would disagree with that, but I think you catch more fish. You're going to feel the strikes. It connects the dots between your lure and your finger. That finger is what feels those bites. I look at the rod tip, but sometimes you're just feeling for them. Speaking of rods, your jigging rod, I probably would go with a medium light action with an ultra fine rod tip. Something that you can see the bites visually, but also that transmits that vibration from that hit that the fish gives you. You want to feel that. And so I'd look for a good quality rod. Doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to have a fancy name on it. Something you're comfortable with. If you have faith in what you're doing as a fisherman, as we all know, you're going to catch more fish. So once again, that's about it. On my dead sticks, I would tip them with night crawlers, just the smallest piece you can, or any grub or anything like that. But to be honest with you, on Henry's, I think sometimes dead sticking is a waste of time day to day. Sometimes that's all they're going to hit on. But for me, a jigging rod's the way to go. And I would say, the more jigging rods the better. No, I don't think so. In fact, I had 3 this last trip, and I wondered if I should have just gone with 2 or even 1. Because really, the time you spend untangling lines inside of a tent when they get tangled up, you could be catching fish if you just had 1 setup going, or maybe 2 setups. Maybe put 1 setup just right below the ice, within, say, a foot to 2 feet below the ice, and the other one I'd go in your hand, put that one 6 inches to a foot above the weeds. You're gonna get them. You're gonna get them. And it's nice to have 2 setups going, because if one messes up on you, the fish breaks the line, you just can grab another one while the fish are still there and attack them again. Those fish do go in schools. When you see 1 fish, you're going to have a dozen more in the area. And just want to be ready for them. So anyhow, I'll go over here and grab a rod, show you kind of what I'm using. Once again, there's 10,000 ways to skin a cat. This has just been my choice this year. It's a different setup than I used last year. And just thought I'd share it. We've been blessed with early ice this year, and I'd encourage people to get out there. I am concerned that the lake is going to winter kill this year with the ice coming on so early, so I would encourage you to probably keep a few fish, because we'll see what happens. Anyhow, I'll go grab a rod and we'll be right back. Okay, so this rod here is one I bought at Sportsman's Warehouse last year. The brand name of it is Lost Creek. Fishing gear and accessories. I got it at Sportsman's last year for about 25, 26 bucks, 27 bucks. I think I got these on sale at the end of the season for like 15. But this one here, see if my eyes aren't what they used to be. This one is a medium heavy, 38 inch. So I lied to you, medium heavy. But so it's got a pretty good backbone here. But I mean, you look at that rod tip, you can see any little strike. If a fish is breathing on that, you're gonna see it. So anyways, that's what I'd probably go with for Henry's personally. I will throw this in. I had a shorter rod last year that was a little bit more sensitive than that one, probably a medium light instead of the medium heavy. I was at Cascade Reservoir last year, and I didn't find out till the very last day, but that lighter rod on those perch gave me so many more bites that I was able to feel and see, and had a great trip with the medium heavy. But this year, going to Cascade, I'll definitely leave the medium heavies in the box and grab some medium light rods, because it was night and day. I was probably getting 2 to 3 times the more bites that I noticed in that application. But for Henry's, you got a chance of catching a nice fish, and so you want to be prepared when that does happen. Last year, I think the one we caught was 27 or 28 inches, pushing 9 pounds. Not the biggest fish I've ever seen come out of Henry's, but it was respectable. I did see one this last trip 2 days ago that was pushing 12 pounds. So they are definitely in there, and they're definitely waiting for you. So get out there. If you have questions, holler at me. Like I say, I'm not an expert. I'm just wanting to help guys out, and appreciated all the feedback on my last video. Got tons of new subscribers. It was kind of humbling and overwhelming at the same time. So I just had a lot of guys ask me, what were you using? And I just wanted to share that with you. So I actually came home and made a whole bunch of these different baits yesterday. I should have made a video of it. Made it to 3,000 of these little baits in different sizes and styles. So Anyhow, every day and every way, rock and roll, and keep on fishing. You're going to get them. Take care. Thanks.